Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel. Spain has produced some of the most stunning and historic coins in the world, and today, we're counting down the top 3 Spain coins every collector should know about. From royal gold to iconic designs, these pieces tell the story of centuries of Spanish history. Ready? Let's dive in. The 1957 no-mint Mark V pesetas coin. This coin, although extremely common in its regular form, has gained remarkable attention in recent years due to the existence of rare variants, special minting codes, and the growing interest of collectors in historical coins from the Franco era. What makes this coin interesting is not just its design and history, but also the fact that certain examples can be worth far more than most people expect. While millions were minted, only a few of them hold significant collector value today, and understanding the difference is essential if you want to know what your coin is truly worth. The 1957 5 pesetas piece was issued during the dictatorship of Francisco Franco, a period of strict political control and national symbolism. The obverse of the coin shows the portrait of Franco facing right, accompanied by the official legend of the time. The reverse displays the Spanish coat of arms with the large eagle, a bold representation of Spain's national identity during that era. These coins were not minted only in 1957. Instead, 1957 remained the frozen obverse date for many years. The actual year of production is hidden inside a small star near the edge of the coin. This tiny detail is the key to identifying the true mintage year and the potential rarity of any specific example. Because the obverse date never changed, collectors have to look closely to determine which variant they have. Some star dates correspond to extremely common mintages, while others were produced in much smaller numbers. In addition to the standard issues, there are special varieties that have become significantly more collectible. Some were struck for exhibitions or numismatic events, and a few contain unusual minting characteristics, small design differences, or recognizable errors. These rare versions are the reason why certain coins from this series have sold for hundreds or even thousands, while most others remain inexpensive. The general composition of the coin is a copper-nickel alloy. It weighs just under 6 grams and measures approximately 23 millimeters in diameter. The edge is reeded, which helps prevent clipping and allows easy identification of wear. Most examples that survive today show signs of circulation, including scratches, smooth areas, or loss of definition. These factors matter because condition plays a major role in determining market price. Fully uncirculated pieces with sharp details, bright surfaces, and no cleaning marks are significantly more valuable than worn examples. The level of rarity depends heavily on which star code is present on the coin. Some years had extremely high mintage, making those coins effectively common pocket change. These pieces usually sell for very low prices, sometimes only enough to interest beginner collectors. However, other star years were struck in much smaller quantities. These rarer dates in high grade can command strong premiums, especially when they appear in collections, auctions, or private numismatic sales. There are also unusual pieces such as a special exhibition issue that replaces the typical star code with a different marking. Coins like these are far harder to find, and when they appear in uncirculated condition, they attract much higher bids from experienced collectors. Beyond rarity, what also makes the 1957 5 pesetas coin desirable is its strong connection to 20th century Spanish history. It represents a period of political control, national restructuring, and symbolism reflected in all aspects of public life, including currency. This makes the coin interesting to both historians and collectors, as it captures a distinct era when Spain was transitioning economically and socially. Even people who are not coin collectors sometimes keep these coins as family heirlooms because they were once so common in daily life across the country. When it comes to price and market value, the range is extremely wide. In today's market, most common 1957 5 pesetas coins have modest value. Well-circulated examples usually sell for very little and are easy to find. Uncirculated versions of the common dates are more attractive and can bring in several euros or dollars depending on condition and overall eye appeal. However, the story changes dramatically when a rare star date or special variety enters the picture. These coins can reach values well into the hundreds if the condition is excellent. In the case of exceptionally rare variants or error pieces in pristine grade, collectors have paid significantly more. Although extremely high prices are not typical, they do occur when rarity, demand, and condition come together. Looking ahead to the 2025 market, the demand for mid-century Spanish coins continues to grow gradually. Collectors are becoming more interested in identifying exact varieties, and new enthusiasts are entering the hobby each year. As a result, rare star date pieces are expected to maintain or even increase in value slightly, especially those in top-grade condition. Meanwhile, common circulated examples will likely remain inexpensive due to the large quantities still available. Coins that show unusual characteristics, special markings, or minting errors may continue to rise in value as collectors devote more attention to cataloging and differentiating them from the ordinary versions. If you own a 1957 5 pesetas coin and want to know whether it might be valuable, the first step is to carefully inspect the star near the edge of the coin. Use good lighting or a magnifying glass to read the tiny number inside. Once you know the exact star date, you can compare it to known rarity levels. Next, evaluate the condition. Look for signs of wear, scratches, or cleaning. Any flaw can reduce value, while a sharp, untouched surface can greatly enhance it. If you believe you may have a rare variety or exceptionally well-preserved example, consider getting the coin professionally graded. A certified coin with documented condition often attracts higher offers and a wider range of potential buyers. The 1957 No Mint Mark 5 pesetas coin remains a fascinating piece of Spanish numismatic history. While most examples are still common and inexpensive, the series contains hidden rarities, special issues, and highly desirable varieties that can be worth a surprising amount of money. As collector interest continues into 2025, the market for the rarest examples appears strong. Whether you discovered your coin in a family collection, inherited it, or found it in an old box, it is always worth taking a closer look. That tiny number inside the star might be the key to turning an ordinary coin into a valuable collector's piece. The 1975 Spain 5 pesetas coin, often referred to simply as the 5 tas. Many collectors wonder whether the 1975 issue without a visible mint mark is rare, whether it can be worth a lot of money, and what its true market value looks like in 2025. In this video, we'll go deep into its history, design, rarity, and realistic price so you'll know exactly what you have and what it may be worth today. To understand the 1975 5 pesetas coin, we must first look at the historical moment it represents. Spain in the mid-1970s was undergoing a major transition. The long dictatorship under Francisco Franco had just ended in 1975, and King Juan Carlos I assumed leadership, guiding the nation toward modern democracy. Because of this, coins issued around this time, especially those featuring Juan Carlos I, hold a special place in Spanish numismatic history. The 5 pesetas coin featuring his portrait became one of the defining circulating coins of late 20th century Spain. The obverse side of the coin features the portrait of Juan Carlos I with the inscription identifying him as the King of Spain along with the date 1975. On the reverse side, the coin displays the national coat of arms along with the denomination of 5 tas. The coin is made of a copper-nickel alloy, weighs approximately 5.75 grams, and measures around 23 millimeters in diameter. It has the typical metallic color and durability common to European circulation coins of the time. Now, here is where some confusion begins. Although the date shown on the coin is 1975, Spain used a system during that era where the date on the front did not always represent the actual year of minting. Instead, the real mint year was typically hidden inside tiny stars placed on the coin. Even though many collectors refer to this piece as the 1975 No Mint Mark coin, in most cases it is simply part of the standard 1975 series, which includes very large mintage numbers. These coins were made in the tens of millions, and in some sub-years, the total number reached into the hundreds of millions. This alone tells us that the majority of 1975 5 pesetas coins are not rare. They were everyday pocket change for decades and circulated heavily, because of their wide circulation and huge production numbers, most surviving examples today are considered common. They can be found in old jars, inherited collections, old travel souvenirs, flea markets, and coin lots sold by weight. Even though some sellers online attempt to list these coins for high prices, that does not mean the coin is valuable. Listing prices are not the same as selling prices. The market value comes from actual sales, not from inflated asking prices. However, despite being common, the coin does carry certain interest factors. It is connected to an important moment in Spanish history, it features a major change in the monarchy, and it belongs to a currency that no longer exists since Spain adopted the euro. These qualities make the coin appealing for beginner collectors, world coin collectors, or those who have nostalgia for the peseta era. The coin has historical value, but historical value is not the same as high monetary value. Now let's talk about the part everyone wants to know: how much is the 1975 5 pesetas coin worth today? In 2025, the typical market value for a circulated example remains very low. Most coins sell for well under $1. In average conditions, such as lightly worn coins that were clearly used in circulation, prices often stay between a few cents and maybe up to $1 depending on the buyer. Only coins in exceptional, uncirculated condition, meaning bright, clean, and with absolutely no signs of wear, can reach slightly higher values, but even then, they usually remain modest, rarely more than a few dollars. These higher prices occur mostly when collectors are seeking to complete a full year set or are looking for a pristine example for long-term storage. Claims that the coin is worth hundreds of dollars come from misunderstandings, misrepresentations, or hopeful listings rather than proven sales. There is no widely recognized version of the 1975 5 pesetas coin without errors or special mint variations that consistently sells for large amounts of money. That being said, error coins are a different story. If a 1975 5 pesetas coin has a striking error, such as an off-center strike, a double strike, a missing detail, a wrong planchet, or unusual misalignment, those specific coins can be valuable. But this applies only to verified mint errors, not to regular coins that simply have wear or damage from circulation. If you believe your coin might be a rare variant or an error piece, the best approach is to examine it under good lighting and magnification. Look for irregularities that do not match normal examples. If something looks unusual, comparing your coin to certified examples or bringing it to a reputable coin dealer can help identify whether it is something special. In rare cases, professional grading can help determine market value, but for most standard 1975 5 pesetas coins, grading is not financially practical because the grading cost would far exceed the coin's value. So, what is the 1975 no mint mark Spain 5 pesetas coin truly worth in 2025? The honest answer is that most examples are worth only a small amount, often less than $1, slightly more for uncirculated coins, and significantly more only if you have an error or an exceptionally preserved example. It may not be a treasure in terms of money, but it does carry significant historical charm and is a great entry into Spanish numismatics. To wrap up, the 1975 5 pesetas coin is a fascinating collectible with deep ties to Spain's political transformation and the last decades of the peseta currency. While it is not extremely rare or highly valuable in most cases, it remains a meaningful piece for collectors and history enthusiasts alike. The 1993 no mint mark Spain 5 pesetas coin. Although small in size, this coin has a surprisingly rich story tied to Spanish tradition, cultural heritage, and the final era of the peseta before Spain officially adopted the euro. In this video, we will explore its history, the reason it was minted, how rare it really is, what it is worth in today's market, and what you can realistically expect its value to be in 2025 and beyond. Let's begin by understanding what this coin actually represents. The 1993 5 pesetas coin was issued under King Juan Carlos I during a very important cultural celebration in Spain known as the Jacobeo or Holy Year of St. James. This event occurs only when the Feast of the Apostle James, celebrated on July 25, falls on a Sunday. Because this does not happen often, the year 1993 was considered a sacred pilgrimage year, attracting millions of visitors to the city of Santiago de Compostela. To honor this national event, the Spanish mint produced a special design on the circulating 5 pesetas coin. Although it circulated as everyday money, it also served as a commemorative symbol of a major religious and cultural milestone. The design carries strong symbolism. On one side, the coin features the figure of Saint James the Apostle dressed as a pilgrim, holding a staff and accompanied by the traditional scallop shell, an emblem used by travelers walking the Camino de Santiago. On the other side, the famous botafumero, the enormous incense burner used in the cathedral, appears prominently. These elements connect the coin directly to the centuries-old pilgrimage tradition that has shaped both Spanish history and European culture. Though small and simple, the artwork clearly reflects Spain's intent to honor the Jacobeo celebration in a practical yet meaningful way. Now let's discuss one of the most important topics for collectors today, the rarity of this coin. New collectors often believe that because a coin is old or commemorative, it must be rare and therefore valuable. However, this is not the case with the 1993 5 pesetas. In fact, the coin was produced in extremely large numbers because it was intended for regular circulation throughout Spain. The mintage exceeded hundreds of millions of pieces, making it one of the most common late-period peseta coins. It was widely used by the general public for years until Spain officially switched to the euro in 2002, which means millions of examples still exist today in drawers, old pockets, family collections, and bulk coin lots. Because of this very high mintage, the coin is not considered rare and does not fall into the category of scarce or hard-to-find collectibles. For the most part, it remains easily obtainable, and collectors can usually purchase it with minimal cost. The only times when this coin may be considered somewhat special are when it appears in extremely high grades, such as uncirculated or mint state, or if a unique mint error is discovered on a particular coin. Error coins, of course, can attract higher premiums, but verified errors on this specific issue are not commonly reported. Next, let's talk about what everyone wants to know, the value of the 1993 Spain 5 pesetas in today's market. Even though it is a commemorative design and connected to a culturally significant year, its value remains modest because of how many pieces were made. In normal circulated condition, the kind that shows handling, wear and loss of original shine, the coin generally sells for a very small amount. Most circulated examples fall between just a few cents to perhaps $50, depending on where they are sold. These are everyday collector prices, not investment-level values. If the coin is in excellent shape, such as uncirculated condition where the details remain sharp, the surfaces are bright and there is no evidence of wear, the value can modestly increase. Even then, typical prices are still low. Many uncirculated pieces sell for under $1 because so many were preserved in good condition by collectors during the final years of the peseta. However, there are always exceptions. Some sellers list the 1993 5 pesetas coin at higher prices, sometimes several dollars or more, but these listing prices do not always reflect the actual market value. In most cases, they are simply sellers hoping to attract buyers unfamiliar with the coin's true rarity and mintage. What truly matters is what the coin actually sells for, and real sales tend to stay at a low price point. Now let's move forward to discuss the projected value in 2025. Since the coin remains abundant and the supply far exceeds the collector demand, there are no major signs suggesting a large increase in value in the near future. The coin is expected to continue trading within the same lower value range, especially in circulated condition. By 2025, a realistic estimated value for a typical circulated 1993 5 pesetas is still between a few cents and under $1. Uncirculated examples may hold slightly higher pricing, but they are still unlikely to become high-value items unless a rare minting error is discovered and authenticated. That leads to an important point for coin owners and collectors. Although this coin is not financially valuable, it holds strong historical and cultural value. It represents a major national event, a religious tradition older than many modern European nations and the final decade of the peseta before the introduction of the euro. For many collectors, especially those interested in Spanish history or pilgrimage routes, this coin carries genuine sentimental worth. It serves as a small but meaningful reminder of the Jacobeo heritage and the transition period in Spain's monetary history. If you have one of these coins at home, the best thing to do is examine its condition closely. Check whether the details are sharp and whether the original mint luster remains. Avoid cleaning the coin, as cleaning can lower its collector value. If you happen to find unusual features, such as misaligned dies, off-center strikes, or missing details, you may want to have the coin evaluated by an experienced collector or numismatic expert. The 1993 No Mint Mark Spain 5 pesetas coin is a beautiful historical piece but not a rare or high-value collectible in the current market. It is widely available, affordably priced and cherished more for its cultural meaning than its monetary worth. While its financial value may remain modest in 2025, its significance as a symbol of Spanish tradition and the Jacobeo celebration ensures that it remains an interesting and meaningful coin for collectors around the world. If you enjoyed this deep and informative look at the 1993 5 pesetas coin, make sure to subscribe, like and stay tuned for more expert coin history and market analysis videos.